this recorded. So welcome. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you need to share
screen. There we go. There we go. Can you see it now? Getting ready for year-end processes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. So we're going to talk about getting ready for year-end processes. And if you have questions, we will go ahead and take those at the end, and then we'll be able to get through this. And then if we have questions, you know, offline, I can answer those as well. So let's get started. So first off, we have a few assumptions when we're talking about the processes today. We're going to be working with calendar year end today, but these processes also apply to fiscal year end. So calendar year, the January through December, and then fiscal year is usually July through June of the next year. So when fiscal year rolls around for your organization, these are the same steps that you'll want to do at that time. And all of the processes that I'm going to show you today should be done on test first and then production. So the first thing we're going to talk about is updating your control info dates. We're going to talk about running the donor contribution total calculation process. That's on your giving summary page. We've got an old way with running the COBOL program, and then we have a new way with some scripts. So I'll show you that and at what version you can go to those scripts. We're going to also talk about updating the annual gift club process. So let's dive into updating control info dates. That first date is what is going to control the donor contribution date. So that's the contribution current fiscal year. And I've already set that on this slide so that it will process for 2019. So it'll be all ready to go. If you're using CCON, there is a control info record for that. And that is based on the CCON class years. So I have taken that, put a range in there for that. And then also your credit card year range. That's a range that will state, you know, valid credit cards. So let's go into the donor contribution total giving page. And this is under constituents giving page. So we're going to be talking about the information right under the summary. This year, we can see that it's calendar year by the CY, and we have processed up to 2018 gifts. So what this process will do is it will calculate, get all of the totals and match gifts and lifetime gifts. It will calculate those all up to this point. And if any new gifts have come in for 2019, we will see that reflected on each of the paid, each of those different constituents. So essentially what we will see once we put in change that control info record, we will see another line of CY 2019 GIFs right here. So then once we run the process, what happens is you will see those $433 GIFs move down to the 2018 line. So we'll continue on. So prior to version 4.5, this is the program that you're going to be using. First off, we're going to make sure we change that control info record for it's called fiscal year, but it is the calendar year that we're changing it for. And then we are going to open up the donor contribution total calculation folder on the app server. If you have trouble locating this, let support know and we will be able to direct you to where this is. And then within that folder, you're going to click on the .bat file. You're going to select the database and enter the database user and password. So not your personal user and password that you sign into one with. This is the database user and password. And then you're going to click OK. This is what this is doing is it's connecting right to the database so that it will process. First off, you want to do it over test. So you want to make sure you connect to test and run it through. And then once that's completed and you think everything looks great, then run it through production. You'll see this window when it completes. And it says that the donor contribution process has completed. Press any key to continue. Now, what I'll tell you about this, the old way that we're seeing right now, and then the new 4.5 way. You'll want to run these off hours. So not when people are processing gifts. For one, you could lock the database. So if someone's putting in a gift and you're actually calculating information and updating records, it will lock. It could lock things up. It could also slow things down. So you'll want to just do this at a different time that users are not processing. So now let's talk about the new 4.5 version. We changed this. They are SQL scripts. And we did this so that you could have the ability to customize your giving page. So you're going to be able to remove deceased, or maybe there's some type of relationships you want to exclude or something like that. This is going to allow you to do that. The new process, you're also going to be able to auto schedule it after hours. So that's a huge, huge benefit, because the old way, you had to connect and you had to leave that session going, and you had to connect to the server, leave it up, and make sure nobody else got in and close that down. Well, now you can connect, and it's going to use a CMD file to connect to the database, and your password's going to be encrypted. It's really, really slick. It runs a lot faster. The way that it had been running on one particular user's machine or site's machine that I've been working with, the old way took about an hour, and the new way on some of our databases here that are comparable in size to some of yours, it took about 2 minutes. So it's going to be a huge time saver. You can schedule it at night and leave for the night and not have to worry about it. So good for you. It'll be great when you get to 4 or 5. So okay, so then let's talk about the process, the new process. So we're going to still change that control info record. Want to make sure that's updated for the next fiscal year. And then the scripts are database specific. So what I mean is Oracle has its own, DB2 has its own, SQL Server. So you'll need to contact the help desk to get the appropriate script. And then you can put it right in that same folder where the old donor contribution process is, and just, you know, mark it old or move it somewhere else so that you'll just run this new process now. And then what we'll do is if you're not scheduling it, the way that I'm going to show you today is that if you're just running it and not scheduling it. So we will open AQT or any other query tool, and then you'll be able to run this. And I'll show you through AQT what this will look like. It will also ask you to enter your database user and password again. So test first, and then production. So once you get AQT opened, you will want to process the Run SQL button at the top of the AQT window. You will copy in the script into AQT, and this is what that looks like. You can do a Control C and then Control V. We'll get that script in there. So this is what that will look like. And I have enlarged this so you'll be able to see the top scroll bar and toolbar. But what you'll want to do is click that Run, the green button right there in the middle. And then once you do that, a screen like this will pop up. And what this is going to do is run down through all of those statements. And it's really kind of fun to watch it because it goes through and it will tell you how many records it has updated as it goes down through. And it's kind of neat. So we will move ahead. Once it loads the information, then you just hit that Run button. So this is what it will look like when it is processing. So it will have the scripts that it has completed, the statement, how long it took, and then on the very far right, it will say how many rows it updated. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to enlarge this so you can see what it will look like when it's running. So you'll see that it says running, and you want to just let that do its thing. And then once it has completed, it will let you know. So once it's completed, all of the rows are done, And now we see at the bottom, this close button has been enabled. So go ahead and hit the close button, and you will be taken back to the screen where we first began when we copied that script in. And then at this point, you're going to hit that X up in the left or the right-hand corner, excuse me. So we'll do that. So we're going to hit that X. And then you're back to where we started in AQT. So that is the new way. Like I said, you can schedule that, and scheduling it does all of those things for you. It will connect for you. It will go out and run the query for you, and it's really slick. So that is the process for the donor contribution total page. And then after you've ran that, you can go and look at your giving summary page, and you will be started off for 2019. So now we're going to move ahead to the annual gift clubs. Annual gift clubs are donors who are eligible for a gift club based upon their annual donations. So we are going to usually you create a gift club at the beginning of the year where the club is defined as an annual reoccurring gift club, and your dates encompass that year. So we are getting ready to close out the 2018 gift club year. And members donate throughout the year, and then the totals are calculated. And at the end of the year, the gift club, we run the gift club annual reoccurring process. So, and what this does is it's going to allow us to keep a record of those donors that have been giving for, let's say, 5 years. We will have a record of that, and we will know how much they gave in that year. So it's a really nice tracking tool that you're going to be able to see that progression of how much they've given. And maybe every year they've given a little bit more, and you're going to be able to see that. So the annual gift club process, then, what's going to happen is active members are going to be changed to historical, and that's what allows us to keep that year record. The beginning and ending dates of those gift clubs are going to be reset so that they will reflect the new year. And then the gift club will be ran to ensure that any gifts in the new date range are in the gift club to start the new year. So Sally gave a gift on January 1st, and maybe you haven't ran this process until you didn't run this process until January 10th. So we want to make sure we get Sally in the gift club. So rerunning that will ensure that we have everybody in there that should be counted. And then, like I said, you can use the historical data then to see how many donors are consistently giving year to year. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set all those members, the annual gift clubs, to historical. We are going to change the existing members' annual gift club, the year. So we're going to change that. And then we are going to set existing members their historical date to the last day of the year. And I'm going to show you a script. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay. And I can walk you through this, but it looks a little bit scary. But so we're going to update that gift club membership. We're going to set those gift clubs to historical, and then we're going to change the dates to 2018. Okay. And then the next script that I'm going to show you is we're going to set all of the annual gift clubs of the beginning of the date to the beginning of the next year. And we're going to set all of the annual gift clubs end date to the end of the next year. So there is that script. So we've set the club beginning date to 2019. We've set the club end date to 2019, end date to 12/31/2019, and we have set the club update date to 2018/12/31, where the club type is active. Now you might say, well, Sarah, why would we run this process? Wouldn't it just change those, if we changed the dates, wouldn't people just drop out of the club and be historical? Yes, they would. But the way that we're doing this with the update date, we are going to control when those people were historied. And we can do that by changing that club update date. So I've set it to 12/31/2018. And then subsequently with the prior script, I was able to run that script and update those, when the new club starts and ends. If you have one gift club, maybe you just want to go through and change that gift club manually. But if you have several annual gift clubs, this is really going to be a time saver for you. So let's move on. I guess we're done. So does anyone have any questions over any of those, any of the processes that I ran today?
Hey, Sarah.
Yes.
You might want, or I'll just mention, back when one of the things that we've added more recently to gift clubs is the ability to copy a gift club, which hadn't existed for a long period of time or a long time. So it was, if you had a gift club that existed, it was difficult to recreate it, especially if you had lots of levels in it, which is kind of why the annual process was built. So now there's a new process that allows you to copy a gift club, and that copies all the rules along with it. That is another way. It would mean you're going to create instead of having a gift club that you history records and do this whole process, you could, if you don't mind having a big backlog of gift clubs, you might have a gift club that's called 2017, and then a new gift club that you create for 2018, and a new one for 2019, and a new one for 2020. That would be another way to capture activity in a specific year. And now that the copy function is there, that makes that a lot easier also.
Thank
That's
you,
all.
Bob. Thank you. That was a good point. Anybody else? I know we have a couple people that their phone is not working. So feel free to type in the chat because I am looking at that. Okay. Well, like I said, contact the help desk for the gift club's database specific the database specific scripts that you'll need to run. So we'll have those specific for gift clubs and specific for the 4.5 new script. And if you need help setting that up to run in the task scheduler, we'd be happy to help you with that as well. So you have a great rest of your day, and happy holidays to everyone, and we will talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.